All right, friends, if you've been looking for a sign to get yourself a 3D printer, today's the day. This is your sign. You need to get a 3D printer. I want to take you on a little tour around my house of all the things that I have 3D printed, because I think by the end of this, I'm going to be able to convince you that you also need a 3D printer. So we are in my laundry room today, and I made myself a little cup. Most of the stuff right here I'm going to show you is all just functional things, not so much things that, you know, are cute and useful and crafty. Okay, so like I also made I have this little drawer in my bathroom, and I made these like little canister things right here. I know, like stupid little things like that, but things you wouldn't be able to find in a normal like store. Okay, I also have made our little tea bag holders. I made this with my 3D printer, and they hold a tea bag. They have like a little slot on the top. There's a lid on the very top that holds an entire sleeve of tea bags. These things are so cool. But that is not just it, okay? I've also made my own custom cookie cutters. A bread holding thing. I did make that. This is actually just something that I made that I thought was really cool. It's a little figurine, Darth Vader. I made a little cord winder. It snaps into place, and then you can wind up a cord. And then a poop tray for my 3D printer. Apparently you need it to collect the poop that the 3D printer has. Also, I created another cord winder for the back of my KitchenAid mixer. Let me show you, because this thing is so cool. Okay, so on the back of my KitchenAid, I have this thing right here that I printed with my 3D printer. And all I did was put some 3M tape on the back of it, and then put it on the back of my KitchenAid mixer. And now I'm gonna be able to wind up my cord with my KitchenAid, and there, it holds it. So now when I turn it around, you're never gonna be able to see my cord on my KitchenAid because it's hidden. Look at that. How stinking cool is that? Now, truly the real reason why I wanted a 3D printer was to print jigs for my Xtool P2S, or I guess all of my lasers, and then also my Eufy Make UV printer. And now I actually can do that with this 3D printer right here. It's called the Creality High Combo. You can get just the 3D printer, but I also have this like little hopper thing. If you have a 3D printer and you know all about 3D printers, this video is not going to be for you, because you are watching a video from someone who's never played with a 3D printer before. This is my very first 3D printer. I know zero things about it, but all I do know is that it's super user friendly, like beginner friendly. So if you are somebody who has been wanting a 3D printer and afraid to get one because you don't know how to use it, this video is gonna be for you. Now, before I tell you anything about this 3D printer, I just wanna tell you a really funny story, because my life sometimes is very interesting. So I'm sure if you've seen any of my videos here on my channel, you will know that I love reviewing new products, especially lasers, because I am your laser best friend. I love all the lasers. So you can see the pile of boxes that are right there, okay? Creality, the maker and owner of this 3D printer, is coming out with, or has came out with, a laser cutter. It's over there in a box. Smart marketing move on their part. But anyways, they reached out to me and they said, hey, we're coming out with this brand new laser engraver. Do you want to review it? And I was like, I mean, not really. I don't want to review another laser. However, you have some 3D printers, and I have always wanted a 3D printer. And I would love to review a 3D printer. I've never had one before, and I've always wanted one. And they said, okay, that's fine. We'll send you a 3D printer to review this. Well, what comes in the mail is not just this, but this too, because they're doubling down on the fact that maybe I'll get bored enough and review that too. So it's still there. But anyways, we're talking about this right here, because this right here is going to be the showstopper of the evening. This 3D printer has, I've owned it now. I've unboxed it it's been like 4 days. This is the only time it's not moved in 4 days, was for this video. Because ever since I got it unboxed, it's been doing its thing. And you can tell that I have been doing a ton of prints, because look at my filaments. My white filament is almost gone, and my black is halfway gone, because I've been doing that many prints. I have extra spools right here too, just to hold me off. But I'm telling you right now, y'all, this thing right here, 100% a buy. Okay. What I want to do first is show you a little bit about the unboxing, because while they say, Creality, while they say it takes you 9 minutes to set it up, that's not necessarily the truth. So I'm gonna walk you through couple things that I thought that might make a hiccup for you, just so that you can actually unbox it under 9 minutes and not take 40 like it did for me. And then I'm gonna walk you through a couple things in the software, how to find free files, how to create your own 3D file. And this is all coming from a beginner. Someone who knows absolutely zero about 3D printing. I was able to create, and not ever have a bad print. This is your sign to get a 3D printer. Let's get to the unboxing and then we'll get to the software. Obviously what you're gonna need to do is take the machine out of the box. But no, really, this machine only requires, I think, like 6 screws. They're not hard to screw in. However, inside the upright arms, you're gonna have to click these cords together. Make sure and click them together really well, because what happened was I got through the entire unboxing of this and setup process, and when I went to turn it on, I got this error notice. So then what I had to do was essentially go back and figure out what I did wrong, and that's what I did wrong. The the wire connector tools wasn't fully clasped into place, and so there wasn't a connection. That was the only thing that I had trouble with. Outside of that, it's pretty much easy breezy, super easy setup.
And we're heating. We got further now than we did before. Before we couldn't even get to the hotbed, and now it's actually doing something.
Okay, so it's done doing its thing, which is great. I don't know what any of this means. I actually haven't even tested the software or anything. But I was just fiddling around, and we have this right here. And there's some projects that are right here. I'm going to do this waste box. It says it's going to take a total of 3 hours and 7 minutes. Let's just try it. We're going to press next. I have no idea. Press print? Sure. I don't know. We'll see. Preparing to print. We're going to see if this actually does anything. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I'll see you maybe in 3 hours. I have my very first print on my 3D printer printing right now. What is this? Oh my gosh, I am so excited. My husband came in and he was like, "What are you printing?" And I said a poop tray for my 3D printer because it poops. And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Don't worry. I know. He's not excited. I'm excited. It's gonna take 3 hours, but I'm so excited about it." My crafting prayers have been answered, because look at what is on this table right here. I've always wanted a 3D printer and never gotten one, and now I'm kind of nervous. First, my print is done. I'm super excited about that. I think people normally break this off, like just to... I don't know how to take this off. Yeah. I wasn't given an instruction manual, so I don't know. I think this is how you do it. Okay, and then this, look, just peels right off. That's what it looks like on the bottom. So it looks on the inside. I can peel this stuff, continue to peel it off. This is supposed to go right here. It's supposed to hang on the side. I need like Velcro or something, because, you know, it's not gonna stay right there. So 3 hours of printing and I can't even use it. It works if I had extra room. Now that we've gone through the unboxing, let's talk about the software. I think the coolest thing about this entire 3D printer is the fact that you not only get a software that you can download on your computer, but you also have an app on your phone. I think the app is really cool because you can go on the app and look at a bunch of different free files. You can find one that you want to print, and then you would click on one and then just press print. Then this screen pops up, you would press print again, you would select your printer, you would select the filament that you actually have in your thing. Let's just choose a black frog. and then you would just press print. At this point, what your phone is going to do is send the file over to your 3D printer, and as long as your 3D printer is turned on, it's going to start printing. That's how easy it is. So if you don't know how to make your own 3D print file, it's okay, because the software that they have is going to take care of all of that. Let's talk about other free files and where we go to find them. So over on your computer, you can see I already brought in, this is those little boxes that I printed for my bathroom drawer. I actually made this 3D file. We'll go into that here in a second, but I just want to show you where you find free files, okay? So going over here into any internet browser, where I want you to go is this spot called, it's a website called Maker's World, makersworld.com. Everything here is 100% free. I have never been asked to pay for anything. You do have to create an account, because I think you only get like 5 downloads if you don't create an account. But just create an account. They don't ask for a credit card or anything else like that. Now, apparently they have laser cut files as well. I've never even heard of this website before, but if you go over here to 3D models, you're gonna get I don't even know how many thousands of files that they have, but all of this right here is going to be free. I really, truly don't think that you actually really have to figure out how to make a 3D file if you didn't want to, because the files that are here is bananas. It is there's thousands. So what I did is like my tea bag holders, I just went here into the search bar, and I just put in tea bag, and you can see that there's a tea bag dispenser, tea bag holders, and then you just find one that you want to download. This is the one that I downloaded right here. And all you would do if you wanted to download this file, this is how easy it is, okay? You would come over here to this line and you would do download STL file. You want to download both of these because this is going to be the actual body and this is going to be the lid. So we're gonna come over here and press download all, and then you're gonna go back into the software, the Creality software. I am just going to add in a new plate, just like this, just add in a new plate. And this one right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here to File and then Import, and I'm going to import my STL file. Now this box is going to pop up. All you need to do is find your files. I'm gonna select both of them and press Open. I'm going to load this project up as a single object with multiple parts, and there you have it. There is the 3D file. And essentially all you would have to do is if you wanted to make more of these, don't resize anything. I would like to know, when you import these STL files, most of them are going to be sized perfectly to what it is that you're trying to create. So don't resize anything. But if you wanted to create more of these, all you would need to do, this right here, you see this grid? This grid is the exact size of my grid for my 3D printer. Let's say I wanted to make 3 of them again. All I would need to do is make sure that this is on my grid, and then you would right click and you would press clone. And then here is the next one right here. This box is going to pop up. If you only wanted to make 1 clone, you would just do 1 and confirm. If you wanted to make 2, you would make 2 and then confirm. Now what you would need to do is by selecting just the lid, you would want to rearrange these so they all fit onto your base plate. All right, nicely arranged, nothing is touching. We're gonna come over here into preview, where it's essentially going to create its own ways of how it's supposed to work. I don't even know, couldn't even tell you. I'm a brand new 3D printer crafter, maker, and all I know is I just press the buttons, and the buttons they just do all the things. It's crazy. So once you're here and it pretty much shows you, yep, you're good to go, all you need to do is press send print. When you press send print, this new box is going to pop up. Essentially the same thing that we did with the phone, where you select your actual filament that you have. I have a black and a white. You would select whatever color. Once you're done, you would press print. I'm not going to be able to press print because I already have that one thing going on over there, okay? This is one of my favorite features with this 3D printer, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit, but when you do any type of prints with this 3D printer, it does a full time-lapse video for you.
So I think this thing took like a total of 12 hours or 13 hours to print, which, you know, is a really long time. However, 49-second video, and look at I mean, just watching it print is seriously so cool. It's almost therapeutic. I love it.
The one thing that I do love about this, I don't know if it's like this for any other 3D printer, so I can't tell you what the main difference is between this 3D printer and other brands. The one thing I love is that it's going to tell you how long it takes. 12 hours and 1 minute, that is accurate. Just want you to know that 3D printers, if you've never played with a 3D printer, historically 3D printers take a really long time. So if you are expecting your 3D printer to go fast, I've never heard of a fast 3D printer. So just keep that in mind when we are talking about 3D crafting is that this right here, I don't know if this is slow or fast to other 3D printer comparisons. What I do know is that most 3D printers or all 3D printers all are very slow. It is going to take you 16.44 ounces of filament. You have a total of 6,150, I think that's inches in filament. And then your filament cost, how much it's going to cost to make this item is going to be about $14. So before you're even pressing print, you already know how long it's going to take, how much it's going to take, and the cost of how much it's going to be at the end of your thing. The one thing that I can tell you as a beginner 3D printer artist is that this is actually really important, okay? Especially when you're doing big prints like this, is that, do you see how we have a filament weight of 16.4 ounces? 16.44 ounces. What you're going to need to do, oh, and let me change my settings back over. I changed my settings over into metric because imperial doesn't work for this, okay? We're gonna need a total of 465.93 grams. That's important because when you start running low on your spools, you're gonna have this right here. This one hasn't been opened yet, but you are gonna see that there is some grams on this side. And what you're gonna want to do is make sure, do you see how we have all the filament that's here? Okay, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have enough filament to complete the job that you're getting ready to print, because at 12 hours, it would suck if you got 90% complete, ran out of filament, and then now you have a ruined project, because that's what will happen. So this right here is going to tell you how much filament you have. Obviously, this brand new roll, I have enough filament to complete that roll if I wanted to print these again, okay? Let's say though, however, you did not want to print this, you wanted to create your own 3D print file, just like I had done with this box right here. These boxes I actually created. I sized them, I took my ruler, went over to my drawer, sized them up, and I created my own 3D print file. The next website that you are gonna wanna go to is called Tinkercad.com. It's free, okay? You can see, look, this is my file that I created 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I created this file knowing nothing about 3D printing. So what you wanna do is come over here and press create. You are going to have to create your own account for this, but again, it's 100% free. I've never had to pay for it. No one's asked me for a credit card or anything. You're gonna come over here into 3D design. Now, remember what I said, I am 100% a newbie when it comes to the 3D printer world. So don't take exactly what I say as like 100%. I'm sure that there are other people out there that know how to use Tinkercad like professionally and will be able to tell you, how to do things their way or the better way or the faster way. I only know how to do it my way just by tinkering around. So for me, I needed to create a box, right? So I just went and looked for like all these different shapes and things of that nature. I did finally find one that looks like this, and it looks like it's like a cube. What you have to do is drag this over into your work plane, okay? You can take this and just drag it. You can change the color if you want to. It really doesn't matter. Changing the color really doesn't matter because you print with whatever filament you actually have, okay? So I only have black and white. Keeping it this color or changing it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, my thing is gonna print either black or white, okay? At this point in time, what you would want to do is you would zoom in like I'm doing my my mouse and it's just zooming in like this. And you can change your box length. This is all gonna be in like millimeters or centimeters or something like that. And you would change your box length over here. You would change your length like this. You would change your width like this, just making it bigger or smaller. You would also change your box height. Now the responsiveness of this website, it's kind of on the slower end. Okay, so like if you make a change, let it reload for the change. From what I understand, from what I hear, is that this is because it's all internet based and then free, it really depends on how many people are on the server for it to be more responsive than others. There has been a time that I was playing on this and it was like super slow, and then there has been times where I was playing on this and it's super fast. So just know it's kind of a little slow. I feel like it's on the slower end. It's not as responsive as having your own software, okay? So you can create like your different wall thickness. Couldn't tell you. You could do bottom of the box, top of the box. I don't know. All I know is by the time I got done doing whatever it is that I needed to get done, I had a finished box, perfectly sized for my drawer, my bathroom drawer. So you can, adjust all of these settings. Oh, also, I thought this was really cool. I have now been watching tutorials on this because I was like, wow, this is really cool. Is you could like insert a text. We're gonna insert the text right here. And let's change this over to my name. And you can create your own name cutouts, but also you can put this onto here. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to create this box with my name right there. Okay, I am just going to press export. You're gonna want to export this as an STL file, and then you're gonna press allowed. There it is right there, just went into my downloads folder. Let's go over here into the software again. This is the Creality Design software. I'm gonna add in another plate just to show you. Here is my next plate. And at this point in time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna drag and drop it into the file, into the software. Now my name is going to get built into this box file. And you would essentially do the same thing. You would press preview. It's going to show you what it's going to look like as a preview. Now, do you see this right here? This says warning. It seems like an object is going to be floating. You need to orientate or enable the supports. So what you want to do is you could either change the way that this prints, because like my name, Ashley, is going to essentially be out of the box. And the box, if you print it just like this, it's going to fall, okay? Instead, what you could do is you're gonna enable the supports, and it's going to print this like really weird thing. If we go over here into preview, do you see how it's going to print this like really weird stuff right here? All of that just like clips right off. That won't be, you can like pull it off and it will reveal your actual finished file of this. So you would just have to trust the process. But I have done this with my winder for my KitchenAid mixer. It did not get a good print the first time because I did not enable the supports. It wasn't a terrible print. I could still use it, but I just didn't like the quality of it. When I came back to print it a second time, I enabled the supports and got 100% a good print. So if you see that, all you have to do is just click a button. And did you remember, like, it actually told you when we were in the print, when we went to print and then preview, and it actually told you like that, hey, this isn't going to be a good print, click this and then enable this. That's how great the software is for a beginner. Like, it tells you. And then at this point, all you'd want to do is just press send print, click your filament, press send print again. That's amazing. The other cool feature about this 3D printer that I forgot to mention, and again, I don't know if this is like this for every other 3D printer. All I know is what I know, what I got here. But look at how cool. I have a live preview of what is going on with my 3D printer. You can also view it from, I'm on my computer, but you also can view it from your phone as well. So like if you were out and about, if you left the house, whatever, you can see it from here and here. It doesn't matter where you're at. Seriously, is so stinking cool. And then the other thing, I know I keep saying like, and there's more. What I thought was really cool is that when you get done printing, I can't seem to find it here
on their software, but when you go over into the app on your phone, you can look at different time lapses and it will give you a whole time lapse. I'm gonna post a couple of them here because I think they're actually really cool. But it records the time lapse for you, and then you get to see your item being made in I guess not in real time, in a time lapse form. I just think this thing is so stinking cool. I have an hour and 40 minutes remaining on the print that I'm doing right now, which is this like weird, why did I choose this? This like weird looking frog marshmallow thing. It kind of creeps me out, but whatever. That's what we're printing. But what do you think of my new toy? Isn't this thing so stinking cool? I think that the random projects that I've been able to create, like that tea bag holder or even like the little organizational bins, is exactly the reason why I have been wanting a 3D printer, is because I love a good organization. However, I don't like to spend money on them. And so making them myself and making it cheaper is like, that's great for me. All right, now obviously I've just shown you the very basics of how to use this 3D printer. And that's because I am also in the basic form of my 3D printer. I've only gotten this thing like 3-4 days ago. It has been so much fun learning something new. When I first unboxed this, I was so stinking nervous, and I don't know why. You just press a couple buttons and you trust the process and things start happening. And I am so thankful that Creality sent me this 3D printer because it has just opened up so many doors. Now the next hurdle I have to get over is trying to figure out how to make my own jig. I don't think it's going to be hard. However, it's definitely going to be a learning experience for sure. So I'm gonna figure out how to do that, and I'll see you on the next one.